Am I live or what, man? Do we get into it? Is everything good? Is everything good? Is everything good? I think we're live and direct, man. Hopefully we can delete that last live. Yes, sir. I think we live and direct, fellas. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Yeah, we live, man. Check in. Let me delete this real quick. We got this service up. Finna do it. We finna watch this real quick. Smoke one. Chop it up about the future, man. Storm talk. Many lies of the lies. Without further ado, let's get to it. I think this is Spanos. Yeah, I think this is Spanos. I think this is Spanos, man. The Ravens are highly expected for sure. I just dropped a video, giving a little background on Joe Hortiz, and check it out. surely. Joe was born to do this job. What if I take this out?
Has a progressive view on team building in regards to factoring in salary cap ramifications, the use of analytics. So taking all those things into account, we felt that Joe was the perfect person for this job, and really just couldn't be more excited to have him here. So with that, it's with great pleasure that I introduce the next GM of the LA Chargers, Joe Hortiz.
Let's go.
I'm excited to be here. First, thanks for everyone for coming. I just walked through the rain out here, so it's definitely a little wet out there, but so I try to keep dried off. But anyway, just really a pleasure to be here. I want to thank the Spanos family, Dean, Susie, John, and AG for putting their faith in me and partnering me up with Jim. Obviously, you guys have seen what he's done over the years. He's a special leader. He's a special coach. He's a special person. I've gotten to know him. I've known him for a long time, actually, and always have loved being around him. Inspired to be working next to him and with him, and can't wait to get started. And before I get your questions, just want to thank a couple people. First, my family, who John mentioned. They mean the world to me. That's my inspiration right there. My wife Jennifer, I couldn't be here without her, and so my four boys, that's who I love, and they inspire me. So thank you guys for coming out here. My mother and father are back home watching. My brother, sister, love you all. The support you've given me and helped nurture me throughout my growing up, and helped me become the man I became. Really appreciate you guys. Wish you were here. And then all my friends and family back home, people in Delaware, Philadelphia, where I grew up. I'm proud of where I'm from, and you guys are where I'm from, and I'm bringing you with me. Uh, Going on to my next family, the Ravens family. 26 years is a long time to be somewhere, and I cherish every single moment with all of you. And just a few of you I want to mention. If I mentioned everyone, we'd be here for about an hour and a half. So and then we'd be getting to questions. So just really, starting off with the Bisciotti family, Steve Bisciotti, just such a great owner, great mentor, great leader. Really enjoyed all our conversations and everything you and your family have done for me. Ozzie Newsome, Eric DaCosta. Ozzie hired me 26 years ago, and an Alabama guy hiring an Auburn kid, and it was really a great opportunity for me, and I thank you. And Eric, just your leadership and mentorship over the years. It's been awesome, and I really appreciate your friendship. The crew over there in Baltimore, just a great group of people that I've worked with, the personnel crew, the whole organization, lasting friendship. So thank you for everything.
If we're talking strictly about his tenure at the Ravens, he was there since like 2000, 1999. They won two Super Bowls within that time. They had Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, Nada, that whole Ravens team. We're not even talking about Harbaugh with his Niners. We're talking about somebody who developed, scouted, brought into the Ravens organization, not just only one, but are Hall of Famers. This is a positive step in a direction we've never took. And we had LT Antonio Gates, and I feel like we wasted those years, even though we got to where we got to. This is finally in office. We going. Besides North Turner, I know North Turner, and he's well respected among his colleagues. But Harbaugh and what he's bringing to the table today is out with the old. No more savings. Um, No more Carrolls, no more Belichick's. Man, it's Sanders, it's Harbaugh's. And I know you guys don't want me to put Sanders and Harbaugh's together, but I'm just saying. Let's get back to the vid, man. Just excited.
And then, one of my good buddies, Jim Denton, who started as a friend and then became an agent. Sorry, I'm just drenched and sweating and all that crap. But we'll have fun anyway, But it's he's sometimes you need somebody on the outside to bounce stuff off of, and he was really great for me, and I really appreciate that. But I mentioned family, and I've had 3 families in my life, and I talked about the one that raised me. I talked about the one that I've been with for 26 years, and looking out at all of you. I mean, this is awesome, and this is a family organization, and I felt it on the interview. I felt it when I walked in this building on the second interview, and I've been feeling it for the past 5 days when I've been walking around the building. You guys are committed to winning, and we're going to build a consistent winner here. You got the right leader. You got the right players on the field. We're going to do it together. As Jim mentioned, it's team, team, team. I believe in that philosophy. I've lived that for 16 years.
He just said we got the right people on the field. He's talking about the Bosa's, the Mack, the Samuels, the roster, the Davis, the Keenan Allens, the Mike Williams, the Herberts, the Ecklers, the Everetts. He's talking about the Davis, the Johnstons. He's talking about those guys, the Morgan Fox, the Slayers, the Slaters. He's talking about those guys. Let's not forget Tully and Henley. We have a squad that we knew last year we should have put together. But we know what happened. Thank you, Staley, for all this success stuff, because we couldn't have gone this far without you. Let's get back to it.
In Baltimore. That's what we're going to do here, and we're going to get those multiple championships. All right, we're going to do that. We're going to bring you a trophy, Dean. We're going to get it done. I got 4 boys. I got 2 rings. We're getting the other 2 at least, and we're going to keep trying to go. All right, so that's what I want to say. I'll open it up to questions, and
at least
I talk fast. I'm sorry. I'm born and raised in the Northeast. I'll try to slow it down, but I'm also excited to be here. So
he said 2 at least.
Here's one thing you need to do before you buy anything online. Don't spend another dime on Amazon until you watch this first.
Yeah.
He said 2 at least.
Thank you.
You mentioned family over and over and over.
Yeah.
Again, do you expect the same qualities that you have in your personal family to rub off on your professional family now?
Yeah, I think that it's love and support. Like in our personal family, and I feel that here, and I felt that in Baltimore. And everyone's working in the same direction, and I know that's where Jim's from. I know where it's from because I worked with John, who is one of the greatest coaches I'll ever work with, and this is probably going to be another great coach I worked with. Like, I know that he already is a great coach. Like, but it's team, team, team. That's real. That's not a slogan. I've lived it and seen it. And you talk about faith, family, football, right? Take it backwards, right? Football, family, faith. Football builds family if done the right way, right? You do it the right way, and all of a sudden you become a family, and you care for each other. You have faith in one another. So that's what we're going to do here, and that's what he's done over and over and over, and that's what I've been a part of in Baltimore. So I believe we're going to bring that here.
Hi, Lillian Elliott from the LA Times. During his press conference last week, Coach Harbaugh said that during the season he'd be Batman and you'd be Robin, and in the offseason you'd be Batman and he'd be Robin.
Right.
Is that how you see the relationship too?
Absolutely. I've lived it 26 years in Baltimore. I watched it. We've talked about that over the years. Jim's been on my list. I've had a couple of chances elsewhere. He's always been at the top of my list as a guy I wanted to work with, and we've talked about that before I got the interview here. We talked about Batman and Robin, and certainly that's the way we're going to operate. The only thing is, I'm not wearing tights. All right, I may put a cape on, but I'm not wearing tights. All right, so, we'll do it. The other thing, I loved. He said red, right, from Shawshank Redemption. All right. I'll be your Andy. All right. I'll be your Andy Dufresne. So that's what it's going to be. It's be a partnership. There's a time for the GM to lead. And then there's certainly when we kick it off, that's when the head coach leads. And I'm going to do everything I can to support him and give him everything he needs to win.
It's a statement that takes us like a special opportunity, unique opportunity to leave somewhere where
you've
been for 26 years. What is it about this specific situation, in terms of roster, in terms of organization, all those types of things that led to you making that decision make the jump.
Right. Well, the great thing is like I met John. It was a long time ago. I don't even know where. Like we can't figure out where it was, but just I got to know him on the road and see how he is. And then when I went through the Zoom, I got on the Zoom call with my wife, and I said, "Baby, this is it. This is the fit. If I want this job, because in that Zoom call you hear about the longevity of the people in this organization. You hear about the love they have for this organization, the commitment they have to winning, and I mean the commitment to building a consistent winner. And so you hear that, and then when I came on the interview, you feel it, and you know it's true, and you see it in who they hired. You know they're committed to winning, and it makes it easy to go from one great organization to another organization that you believe is going to be great. I believe there's talent on this field. They know how to draft players here. They've drafted some really talented players. We've played them. We've lost them in playoff games. We've beaten them in tough, hard-fought games. Like, our goal is to just build it bigger and stronger, and tougher. We want people to walk in here, teams to walk in the stadium knowing they played us.
So you mentioned, obviously, Eric and Oz.
Welcome to the chat, sis. This is the new GM I've been telling you, new staff we've been developing. This is the new GM that we got from the Ravens. So when you think of Ravens, Ed Reed, all that shit, all them players, he's the player that got all of them, Lamar Jackson. So now he's on our team to draft players. You feel me? So it's a new scouting team. What do you say? On the apps.
Parlays.
Oh, I haven't been in a minute, man. It's been a minute. All right, for surely. For surely.
Look.
But how much of a role did Phil Savage and George
You got it
Pickens
going.
help
Yeah.
coming up too?
It's starting with Phil. I mean, Phil's the one who really found me at Auburn. I was a student assistant, doing everything I could do. Made sure coffee was made every morning at 7 a.m. for the staff meeting, broke down film, and then I ran the football camps. And that's where I got to know Phil Savage. And he was a great early mentor for me and friend. And then George, we were talking about this before I left, man, and that was the hardest hug I've ever had. 26 years I was there, 25, George was next to me. And I really mean next to me. His office was across the way from me. Great, just friend, mentor, counselor. He's got kids that are a little bit older than ours, so he's been through it before, and he's able to tell me, what he's gone through. So yeah, you're talking about two of my really, really great friends in my career. And again, I'd love to mention everyone and thank you for bringing those two up. And there's many more, but yeah, special place in my heart.
Joe, you heard from Ozzy and Eric in Baltimore that
If you've been injured in a car accident, don't call an attorney. Use this AI app instead. That's what I did.
New change is coming.
Yeah, so one Ozzy, the biggest thing that stood out with both of them, and Ozzy taught us all this. He taught Eric this, and Eric's kind of taken it forward and continued to teach us. But one Ozzy's a patient GM. He's going to take all the information in. You don't make snap judgments. Don't make snap decisions. The draft process, the free agency process, signing players during the season, everything is a process. And it's a discussion, all right? And the best decisions come through discussions. And I think that's what they both have done greatly in Baltimore, and that's what we're going to try to do here. But it's just trust the process, believe in the process, use everybody's information to help us make the best decision.
Joe, you mentioned the talent on the field. Obviously, Justin Herbert is probably at the top of that list. How much did having an established quarterback play a role in you coming here?
Oh, I mean, listen, in personnel, if you ask any scout, what are the three things you want? You want great ownership, check, all right? You want a great head coach, check. And you want a great quarterback, check. So I'm walking into...
For him to say a great owner, we know the speculation that was had that he was cheap, that this whole organization was cheap. We're not signing players, we're letting people go. We're signing head coaches that's mediocre. We're not doing what we need to do. We move locations for what? I'm going to the games. I'm gonna find out a way to pull some of my clips when I went to the games, man, and it didn't seem like a home game even for me. But then when I went to a Cardinals game in Arizona, it was more Chargers fan in Arizona. It don't make sense. But for him to say like the owner is no longer cheap and is in the direction of winning, It's great to see. Great to be a part of. Finally, man, it's time to stand up. Hence the fact I'm even talking about it now, because it's like I've been talking about it for so long with the guys. It's time to talk this talk out loud, because now it's time to win. We finally got the team with the coach, not just the team. Let's watch it. Let's go, Jimmy.
If everything else, any scout that walks into a GM role, if you say I got those three things, you got a chance. You got a chance to be really good. So we got a chance here to be really good. So having that, it's awesome. This is a dream job. And if you heard the friends of mine out there on the road and in the profession, you know, the excitement they have for what we're going to create here and do here, you know, it's awesome.
Outside of personnel and the roster, are there other football operations that are going well related for you?
Yeah. But again, it's collaborative. You know, I'm going to work with John. I'm going to work with Jim. You know, I am good at personnel. All right, I know that. All right, but I know there are great people at the things they do, and you know, you trust the experts to do their jobs, and I'm going to rely on them, and we're going to work together. So it's a team. It's a team. They may fall under me, but we're going to work together.
John mentioned you have a progressive team building philosophy. What is your team building philosophy
Well,
as far as player acquisition?
I think you work every avenue. All right, I'm a big fan of comp picks. All right, number one, let's create that chain. Let's create that cycle of comp picks. How do you do that? You gain as many picks as you can early, and then you draft, and then make smart decisions on who you re-sign. Obviously, you want to extend your core players, but then there's some players we're not going to be able to because of the cap. But you want to create that cycle of comp picks, you know, and you've got to manage your signings and free agency to do that. Certainly player workouts, you know, let's turn that bottom of the roster. All right, let's turn that practice squad. You know, we want to get better. I'll talk to Jim every morning during the season. Hey, where can I help you get better? And he's going to say, Joe, I need a inside backer. We need to upgrade. Well, that's what we're going to go out there and do. You know, so you do it through free agency. You do it pre-draft, post-draft, and free agency. You do those summer signings, the cap casualties, things to do to protect comp picks, and then really just churn the bottom of the roster. Always looking to get better. Always looking to improve every week.
Joe, I know you guys have used you and Jim have used the Shawshank Redemption story comparison. You guys are going to have 500 yards of sewage to go through as far as the salary cap the next couple months.
Mm-hmm.
What's your philosophy on renegotiating contracts and just evaluating that?
Yeah, so we're going to get together. We're still working on filling out the coaching staff and finalizing that and making those hires. So that's our main priority right now. And once we get our coaching staff settled, we're going to sit down and grind through it as a staff, you know, and then we'll make decisions going from there. But certainly there's some work to do, but it's not unattainable. You know, Andy got out. You know, we'll get out. So you know, you just got to keep crawling and digging, right? So
Look at that goal.
no, but it's going to take some work. But again, we got smart guys doing in those roles. Ed is a wizard. I know that. His reputation preceded him with me walking in the building, so rely heavily on him for with that.
Obviously, working with John Harbaugh, but how well do you know Jim, or how well do you know Jim before joining?
Yeah, I actually met Jim before John. Jim was our quarterback, and in Baltimore my very first year. So the one thing I knew before I knew how competitive John was how competitive Jim was, because one Friday he invited me into the racquetball court, and him and Eric Zier, and I was like, oh my God, this is cool. I'm 22 years old. I'm a kid, right? It's the coolest thing in the world. I'm getting ready to go play with a starting NFL quarterback and his backup. I'm going to show him I'm an athlete. All right, I'm going to show him that I can hang. All right, and I swear to you, I'm so blessed to be here today that I got out of that room, because I was getting thrown around. I'm getting ready to hit a ball off the wall. Jim comes in and just chucks me into the middle of the court. So so I realized I was there just to give them a break in a game of cutthroat, they call it. So no, I've known him. You know, I knew him then. Loved watching him play. I saw his fiery nature then, his competitiveness, his desire to win. And then when John came to Baltimore, that's when we really got to, you know, cross paths again, and certainly going into Stanford and then Michigan, you know, having conversations with him. His whole family, Jack and Jackie, I know. I mean, I've had so many conversations with Jack. So, again, it's family, and it's great that I'm walking really going from brother to brother. It's a really unique and rare gift that's been given to me and my family.
A lot of GMs will talk about sort of their philosophy in terms of what traits they're looking for in players. Obviously, there's position specific stuff.
Yeah.
There's more overarching philosophy
Yeah.
as far as what you're looking for.
I have to finish it.
I really hope you make it.
Dina, watch out! We don't let anybody stop us. Come out and fight! You should have killed me. Today's station.
Command on intel. Affirmative. 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Make up, certain athletic traits. Like for you, what are the important traits that you're looking for, the overarching traits that you're looking for in players?
Yeah, every position is different, right? Like you said, position specifics, critical factors. We want them all to be big, fast, tough, smart, right? And tough is key, right? You got to have that mentality. But then, part of the player, only 50% of the player is the talent and, and the skill set to play the position. The other 50% is the person. And we're going to dive deep into that. We want players that are committed to team. All right. That's where I come from. That's where he comes from. And that's what we're going to be here. It's a team to team to team. That's real, and then we want guys that have that mentality to persevere, to fight.
One second, guys. Trying to get this shit right up. Wait, man. Shout out T2. Shout out T2, man. That's all I'm gonna say. Shout out to the guys, man. I do need my freaking monitor. This is how I hear myself on the Okay, so we're gonna do. Audio input capture. We want this microphone as the input. Alright. And then we're gonna get this one out of here. Alright. Okay, and then we're gonna boop. Output capture. I think that's how we doing it. I'm gonna turn it down though. Can we hear it?
I would have to say, in the situation where we're going to be over, and we had to make decisions and contract decisions, adjustments, I'd say. have to look back at the percentage that we've been in the past over the cap versus when we've been in the situation where we had to make decisions.
Break brothers!
Yeah, you just weigh it. You know, you sit there and you weigh. Okay, certainly you don't want to hold on to players ever as a personnel guy that have on the decline or have passed the point of decline. But I think the players that we've had those discussions about, what's the value they bring to the organization, current value and their future value, and you discuss it and you weigh those things. I mean, that's the reality that to weigh the value they have, the value they're going to bring, and the cost associated with it. And that's the nature of it. It's not a fun part. You'd love to have an uncapped, be like baseball, pay a luxury tax, Dean. I don't know about that. But no, we have a cap, and that's the reality of it. And you have to adjust and manage around the cap.
Part of a GM's job is sort of to have the long-term view.
Sure.
Coaching staff to want to win as soon as possible. GM's job is to have that longer view. So like with this current situation with the cap, I guess how willing are you to rip the Band-Aid off, tear it down, so you guys can build it, and maybe look past 2024 as far as what's the best way to build this thing to get the sustainability?
So our goal is to build a winner every year. We want to compete to win a championship every year. Okay, that's going to be starting now. All right, that's not going to be let's gut it and start over. That's the decisions. Okay, what balance of players gives us the best opportunity to go out there and compete this year? I know who we're trying to beat. All right, we know who we're trying to beat. All right, and we're gunning. We're going that direction. So we don't want to just say we're not mailing in a season. No way. Like we're going to try to win this year, but you make the right decisions and the best decisions that gives us flexibility this year and going forward.
As far as the coaching staff, where are you and Jim at as far as selling off coordinators and everything? Because there's a ton of names.
Yeah.
That have been speculated.
Sure. Yeah. I anticipate that being done relatively soon. We've done a lot of work over the past 5 days. I got finalized, I think, on Tuesday, I believe it was. I'm on the phone with him on Wednesday before I flew out here, and I jumped right into the deep end. And every once in a while, I crawl over to the wall and catch my breath and then get back over. But yeah, we've been working nonstop all weekend, talking to a ton of coaches, and I think we're getting close. And we'll probably be making some announcements, I would say, in the next couple of days or so.
Put in the chat who you think our OC is going to be.
Right. So there's a little bit of a difference, when change is made at those two respective positions, coaching and scouting. Our scouts here have done a great job through my transition here, and I know a good number of them. And I'm going to evaluate our entire scouting staff. There are people that I'd like to bring in, and as soon as I can get them in, I'll get them in here. That will help me impart my vision on how we want to run our personnel department. But I certainly know there's talented people already in this organization, and I'm going to be able to evaluate them through the draft process, through the free agency process, and make decisions as needed.
Joe, you've spent your time as a scout. You typically run offices in a different way, as a scout and direct college scouting and player personnel. How does all that help you now as a GM?
Yeah. I've been in every position, so I can relate to a lot of people in this organization. And, the great thing about Baltimore is, again, we were all together as a big family, and I got to know people outside of scouting. And I have some of my best friendships with people outside of scouting. So you learn how all the processes, all the departments interact and weave together. But certainly going through the ranks, I understand what it's like to pick players up at the airport, to be the guy putting the magnets on the board, to scheduling travel, to being a pro scout, to being a college scout, being on the road, away from your family, you know, hours and hours and hours and days and weeks and months away from your family. It can be an isolated feeling. And so, you know, I know that the scouts are going to want to hear from us back in the building, and that it helps motivate them. So it's great to go through all those processes. And again, take your time doing it, learn it, absorb it, be the best you can be in the role you're in, and the great opportunity like this will come.
In terms of that scouting process and bringing the guys into the department, can you do that immediately, or is it one of those where, you know, evaluating and making changes really can't do that till after the draft?
In terms of bringing people in from the outside, it just depends on whether or not you have permission to bring a person in, or whether they're free to come in. But that's a harder thing to do, and truthfully, this time of year, because our season in scouting isn't done until April. So most of the hires are made post-draft, you know.
Just as a follow-up, how well do you know JoJo Wooden, and what's it just been like conversing with him for the past week?
It's been awesome. So I've known JoJo, again, we've both been doing this a long time. Him and I have been on the road together. I can think of some conversations we've had years and years and years ago, just about players and philosophies and how we scout in Baltimore, how it went back when he was with the Jets, and then obviously now how we do things at our respective teams. And yeah, so I've known JoJo for a long time, and he's been great helping me through the transition. Obviously, I'm jumping into a lot of different things, so I need the personnel side to keep running, you know. And they've all done a great job. Had a great call with them yesterday. Really enjoyed it. They had great questions. You know, I got to translate. You know, I come from a different process that they're used to, grading scales, the way their calendar works, and so my job is to be the translator for them in terms of what they do now and what we're going to do going forward.
As far as Justin Herbert, what's your vision as far as building around him, and on a broader level, like what are the critical factors as far as building around a star quarterback?
If you've been in a car accident, don't call an attorney.
When they say, like, what's your idea for Justin Herbert, or like fixing or anything like that, there's nothing wrong with Justin Herbert, man. Brandon Staley just didn't put people around him for him to shine, man. Williams got hurt, injury bug hit, and we need players to step up, and players didn't. We just need people around. We need a team. We just can't. It's football. We just can't be individually. So when they say all this fix Justin Herbert stuff, I don't know. He's already doing his job. We just got to get the team together to win, because who's really going to help Derwin? Bosa not. Like, bruh, I love you, Buster. I'm Ohio State with you, buddy, but man, like, them first and second downs, where are you on the sideline? Why is Mac out there 4 downs? But it don't matter because we got Thule. But let's get back to it.
Offensive line, you protect your quarterback, and I've seen it done year in, year out where I came from, and so you help him by supporting him with players that help the entire offense, and certainly we have some skilled receivers that are already here, and good players that are already here, but we just want to create a competitive environment in all the positions around them, so we're at our best all the times.
When you first started working in football, basketball, buddy, whatever. What was your dream career-wise? Did you want to be a
You know what?
Chargers? Like,
I wanted to be the best personnel assistant I could be. That's what I wanted to be. I wanted to walk into Shaq Harris's office and Phil Savage's office and Ozzie Newsome's office.
And for him to leave a facility he's been 20 plus years is crazy. So you know he don't want to leave no situation where he's smooth at. Like, wow, it got to be better. Like he said, this is a perfect situation. I can't wait. I know this season, practice, spring, whatever practice, first practice, I'm going. I got to get my jersey swap. I got a 33 Derwin James, even though I like it better than the 3. And I got the 99 Bosa rookie jersey that I want the 97. I need to get a swap, and I got to buy me a Allen jersey. I got to buy me a couple more jerseys now. Let's get to it.
Office and provide for them. And I don't think that's changed. You know, I want to provide for Dean. I want to provide for John, the Spanos family, this organization. You know, I want to provide for Jim. That's who I am, you know. So I've always tried to be the best I could be at what I did and didn't look forward.
And he's wearing the dark blue.
That's, you know, certainly
Let's
as
get
I
to
grew
that.
in my
You see,
career,
I'm wearing it.
yeah, that GM goal became more and more, you know. But when I first got in, I wanted to be a coach. You know, this was my way in. And then I got into the personnel world. I'm like, this is awesome. This is great. I mean, you get paid to watch football and give an opinion. Like, that's what we're all doing. You guys do it for free. I'm getting paid for it. So, you know,
I'm trying to get paid for it.
But, you know, but that's what it is. You know, so I just wanted to be the best I could be then, and I want to be the best I can be now for those that I'm here to support.
Defensively, this team has struggled the past couple of years. You're coming from, it sounds like a Ravens type system is coming here, coaches who have coached in Baltimore through the years. How do you kind of translate as far as players that are best fit with that system with the current roster?
Yeah, so the good thing is this current roster and the way the Chargers roster is built is similar to the Ravens defense in terms of how the edge, the 3 downs, the 2 inside backers. So that's going to be, I talked to the scouts yesterday about that. It's not going to be a big shift in terms of how we're going to build this team out. I think the big thing is mentality, you know, like, let's go, like, let's attack. We want, you know, I call it Charger mentality now, but we want that rough, rugged, tough. We want people to walk into SoFi, teams to walk in and know they're in for it. You know, that's what teams knew when they were playing Baltimore, and that's what we're going to try to create here.
Let me help you with that. I'm good, man. Thanks. Are you sure?
I'm excited, man. I am excited. Time for a Super Bowl to come this way in LA. With the right side of LA. Let's get to that.
As far as the process in Baltimore, I think Oz developed a reputation as having, you know, one of, if not the best, you know, processes in evaluating players. Not asking you to give away the secret sauce or anything, but what do you think has made the Ravens process so good and so consistent for so many years?
Yeah, honestly, the connection between the head coach and the general manager, and that just permeates down through both staffs. There's always a conversation. There's always a commitment to one another. Every day, Ozzie talked with Brian, with Ted Marchibroda before that, and he'd relay it down to the scouts. And Eric does the same thing. It's that collaboration and commitment together to win. And the process itself is driven by the scouts and Eric, and, you know, but it's led by those at the top, and you have a great relationship. You're constantly communicating and working together. That's the true secret. You know, what you do behind, you know, that's where you maybe gain the little advantages, but when you have the connection and the collaboration in the organization, that's how you win.
You were with Baltimore. You still have an AFC championship game to prepare for and everything, but did you and Jim talk at any time that weekend of the AFC championship since he was there and had settled on it? Just when did you know you were coming here?
I knew I was coming here on Monday after we lost. So it was the one ray of sunshine that day. I saw him certainly on the sideline before game. We had a conversation. We talked about the opportunity. I'm hoping I get a call tomorrow. I think they're going to call. I feel good about them calling, but I was not offered the job until Monday after that game. So going into the game, you're anxious for 2 reasons, right? You're anxious, man, I hope I get this job. They'd already hired Jim. This is awesome. Dream come true if I get it. And then let's go beat the Chiefs. And obviously we didn't get that done. But, you know, found out the next day I was coming here. So that's when but we talked on the sideline, you know.
I don't like that he didn't beat the Chiefs when he last game with the Ravens. So you better have that chip in your shoulders where we don't lose to them anymore. I need Michigan, Ohio State, run over 3 years, 5 years, need that run against the Chiefs. Let's get to it, man.
About hope it gets done, and it'd be
I'm
awesome
ready to
if
watch
it does.
football, man.
But neither of us knew until Monday.
You didn't have to make any final sales pitches to you?
No, you know, he doesn't have to sell me at all. You know, again, I've been watching him for a long time. I have a tremendous amount of respect for him and his family.
Ravens over the last 2 decades have also sort of been on the cutting edge of using data
Yeah.
in good decision making.
Yeah.
Is the buzzword, but
Yeah.
So I guess from your perspective, what's your philosophy on using data in decision making, whether that's in team building and player acquisition or like decision making on game building?
Yeah, I think I think it's valuable. I've seen the output, and I've seen how it helps us in Baltimore, and we're going to try to build that here. They've already been doing it. I've had a chance to talk to some of our analysts already, and I'm really excited to work with them. And we'll continue to grow that. And it's on the field and it's off the field. And it's the business side, it's the personnel side, and certainly it's the game management and playing side. So you do sports performance. There's so many ways you can use the data to get better, and we're going to do it because it helps you improve. It helps cover your blind spots. Because scouting, you can be, you can have your favorites. As a player, this guy fits what I like. And you got the analytics behind you saying, yeah, I don't think you like this guy as much, Joe. So you definitely use it, and it's very helpful.
The Chargers have the number 5 pick in the draft. That's not a place you pick at. The Ravens being pretty far back most of the time.
Yeah.
Is there added importance being that high up, or you just kind of stick to that process of trying to find the best player?
Yeah, I think you stick to the process of finding the best player, and it doesn't matter where you're picking in the draft. It's always important. It doesn't matter if it's the 5th pick or the 32nd. Every pick is important to this organization.
You notice he said that because Lamar was the 32nd pick of his draft, and Josh Rosen and Baker Mayfield and who else is in that draft, man? Like, every pick is very important. And we drafted Baylor DB Woods, JT Woods, Nazir Adderley, 3 seasons of, come on, fellas.
It's the 7th rounder. If you put a value of importance on the pick number, you're doing it wrong. Every single pick. Our 5th pick's important. Our 2nd round pick's important. Our 2 7th round picks are going to be important. Every single one. And I've seen it. I've seen a player become a Pro Bowler from a 5th round. That matters. So yeah, we're in the 5th pick. We don't want to be picking there again. Certainly not. But that's where we are right now, and we're going to go through the process and have them stacked and ranked, and we're going to pick the best player for the Chargers at 5, and then we're going to pick the best players for the Chargers the rest of the draft. And our goal is to pick great players all along the way.
How tempting is it being at 5, first year of a new regime, trying to, maybe try to accumulate picks for this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think those are options that you consider. Certainly, you have to have a partner to do something like that. So, we're a long ways away from the draft. Right now, I don't think anyone can tell you how the first 5 picks are going to go, the first 10 picks. So there's a lot to go, a lot more we'll see. The combine, pro days, workouts. So, to talk in the media and see where everyone goes. But we got a lot of time to figure that out. And other teams have a lot of time to see if they're interested. But, you got to be ready to pick at 5. I know that, one thing I've learned anything in Baltimore, there's times where that phone doesn't ring, and you better be ready to pick.
What's your approach to being active in the trade market in terms of acquiring players? It's been, I guess, more of a trend in recent years.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Trade. Just like, what's your approach to?
I think you always have to. You got to be looking to make the team better. And if we can find a player leading up to the trade deadline that can help the Chargers now and going forward, either way, and that there's different ways you can trade for a player who ends up factoring into the comp formula, right? Maybe it's a loan, or you can trade for a player that you want to retain. And I think there's multiple ways to go at it, but I definitely think it's something that's valuable. Yeah. So we're always going to be looking to make this team better. If that's through trade, that's through trade, as long as it makes sense for the Chargers.
Double GX!
Let's get it hooked up, man. I don't think this shit is hooked up to my fucking. I don't think this thing is hooked up to the thing, man. I don't even think, man. don't even think. Yo. So we just got done watching that, man, and what I can say is this. What I can say is this. So I'll let you just run through. Why we do that real quick. My God, like, all I'm finna say is, what is the time? It is the time to be alive right now for the Chargers. It is excellent. It's time to go crazy. It's time to stand up. It's time to speak up. It's time to be proud. The change is coming. The change is here. For the first time in a long time, we're winners again. Shout out to Phillip Rivers and all those guys who've paid a way for us to go through. Let me figure out some stuff to do before I go. Let's watch some Charger clips. Stay tuned for more Storm Talk, man. Me talking about the new updates coming soon. We just getting it started, man. We don't know what we doing for real. We just getting started, laying the foundation, man, laying the bricks, one brick at a time. Yeah, man, that's our new general manager, man, Joe Hortiz, man. Like I said, he drafted guys like Ed Reed, been on the staff of that Ravens team. And he beat Jim in the Super Bowl, actually. So we can look at this both ways. You know, now it's like what our team can look like offensively and defensively for the Niners, how they were. Frank Gore, all them type of guys, like I was saying. But then now we get somebody that can draft the players the Ravens had. So that whole Super Bowl is us. If we really think about it, we got the players that developed this team and this team. And both, so I mean, we got the best of both worlds. And he said we need at least two. He said we need at least two. I think I said 3 out of 4. I said 4 trips out of 5. 3 trips out of 5, and I said 1 out of 3. I said 1 out of 3. He said 2. So we both agree on 1. Boat up, man. Boat gang and don't bang, man. Sign a couple old Chargers just for them to get a ring. I ain't gonna lie, like LT and all them guys didn't get a ring. But I ain't finna react to all of this, but we're just gonna watch. We're gonna watch one of that short real quick, just to see. Cause now we got the coach that coached. Jim Harbaugh coached this Niners team. Coached this Niners team, and Joe Hortiz helped build this Ravens team, right? So like, it's something to be excited for us as Chargers fans alone. Let me get this going for you guys. Look at me, think I know what I'm doing now, man. Hey, shout out to Carter Sports, man. If you made it this far, you skipped over. Shout out to the Carter Sports, man. Just look at this team, man. Kaepernick. Like, what? Yeah, Kaepernick. Flacco was in there. First play. Too high for you. That's Bowman. Number 53 linebacker right there. 53. They had a cold linebacker core, man. That Niners team is crazy. There you go. There's our guy. There go Jimmy. Again, back up the middle, man. That Bowden. This was a crazy Super Bowl. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, this Super Bowl is crazy. And we just look at the players, look at the players that was built on this team, played a couple seasons, and then look how this offensive run on the Niners. Just to give you an idea on how we about to come this season. You feel me? Yeah, man, he was going out with a bang. Shout out Ray Lewis, man. Knock people out on the football field like it was a boxing ring. Ed Reed knocking down Big Vernon Davis, full speed, no care about your body, man. Look at him. What I say? I know what's going on. Good blitz coming up the middle. Terrell Suggs, Kaepernick out of there. Herbert can do exact the same, but make that throw. We've seen that countless times. That's a touchdown on Herbert. Just to say that. Coming back. Eye formation. Watch block. Ew, off the edge. So that's what I'm saying. This game is a testament to how we're going to be. I'm going to say this again. I'm going to say this again. I'm going to say this again. Our general manager helped build the Ravens team to win 2 Super Bowls. Our head coach built this Niners team. We're in talks against Saquon. We are in talks of doing it up. So it's just like, he said turn it up a little. He wanted to hear it. I didn't have it on. I'm gonna turn it up right now for you. Oh, turn off the wrong one. Man, shout out Carter Sports, man. We're gonna turn this up for him real quick.
You have a turnover on a key possession when you're about to go in. Courtney Upshaw creates the fumble. Arthur Jones recovers it. Yes, Jim, that was very difficult for him to believe right there as Tom Rathman speaks to one of his charges. So what would the Ravens do with the first turnover of the night? They would move it down the field. Ed Dixon with a nice juggle grab on Terrell Brown. 2 plays later at the 22, Flacco for Dixon again, and Dante Whitner grabs him by the face mask, so lots of laundry comes out on the field and move it half the distance to the goal. That would be the 4-yard line. And then 2 plays later, Flacco to Dennis Pitta in the end zone to convert the turnover into 7 points.
This was a great throw by Flacco right here. A great route by Pitta. Looked like Pitta fooled everybody like he was going to the corner and hooked right back up, and a dart by Flacco for the touchdown.
So it's 14-3 now. Next Niners possession. Colin Kaepernick makes a mistake we haven't seen since his first possession of the postseason.
Yeah, he's been pretty good with the football, Rich. I mean, right here, that ball just sailed on him. Yeah, I don't like Marshall, I don't like to have seen Randy Moss at least jump.
Great pocket presence. He stepped up in the pocket and delivered.
But yeah, man, I was just giving y'all a visual of what our team's gonna look like and what to be excited for in the future. I didn't want to watch the whole game. Like I said, man, our new GM built that Ravens team, built both teams that went to the Super Bowl. I'm talking about Hall of Famers on the team, Maloli Nada. Guys like you see, Jacoby Jones and our new head coach built this team. Frank Gore and those guys, Vernon Davis. Now it's seemed to be Saquon Barkley. So stay tuned, man. Coming live at you, it's your boy Rollo EA, man, with another live like you didn't think it's going to be another one. It's another one, man. Day by day, we're going to build this up. Let's get to it. Stay tuned. Most likely, I'm going to have a video linked. We're going to see what the niggas is talking shit now. Stay tuned, though, man.